If you've ever tried to grow a business online, you know the feeling, right? You're pouring money into ads. You're constantly tweaking your website. You're obsessing over traffic numbers, but nothing really seems to move the needle. Okay, so we're going to dive into this because what if the problem you're trying so hard to solve isn't actually the real problem at all? So let me just ask you this straight up. Do you think you have a traffic problem? You're just not getting enough eyeballs on your stuff? Or do you think it's a conversion problem, where people show up but they just don't buy? This is the question that keeps pretty much every entrepreneur up at night. But here's the twist. What if both of those are just symptoms of something much, much deeper? See, according to Russell Brunson's playbook, .com Secrets, focusing on just traffic or just conversions is kind of like treating a cough when you actually have pneumonia. The real issue, it's buried somewhere else entirely. All right, so here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to break down the 5 big ideas from the book. First, we'll nail down what the real problem is. Then we'll look at the secret formula to solve it. After that, we'll dive into this thing called the value ladder, see how you turn that into a funnel, and finally, figure out exactly where to find your dream customer. So what is this big, secret, underlying issue? Well, it's not about getting more clicks. It's not about having a better headline. It's a funnel problem. Your business probably doesn't have a structured, strategic path that guides someone from who are you all the way to your most valuable offer. And this right here, this quote from the marketing legend Dan Kennedy, this is the whole game. Ultimately, the business that can spend the most to acquire a customer wins. Think about it. If your competitor can spend $200 to get a customer and you can only afford to spend $50, they are always going to beat you. The goal isn't to spend less, it's to build a system, a funnel that makes every customer so valuable you can literally afford to outspend everybody else. Okay, so how in the world do we build a system like that? Well, it all starts with what Brunson calls the secret formula. And this is crucial. Before you build a single web page, before you run a single ad, you have to answer 4 simple but profound questions. These questions give you total clarity on your entire strategy. All right, let's break them down. Number 1. Who specifically is your dream client? Number 2, where are they already hanging out online? 3, what kind of irresistible bait can you create that will get them to raise their hand and pay attention? And finally, number 4, what is the ultimate result you're going to deliver for them? Answering these honestly is what changes your business from just, selling stuff to truly serving a specific person. And that clarity, it's everything. And let's be super clear here. When we say who, we don't mean something vague like women aged 25 to 40. No way. It means getting so specific that you create a detailed avatar. Give them a name. Call her Julie or call him Mike. What are their passions? What are their goals? What keeps them up at night? When you know exactly who you're talking to, everything else just gets so much easier. So once you know who you're talking to and the result you want to give them, that leads us right into the next core concept, the value ladder. Because look, you can't just walk up to your dream client on day 1 and offer them your most expensive, high-value thing. You have to build a journey for them. The book uses this perfect analogy. A dentist. Think about it. You don't just walk into a random dentist office and say, hey, sign me up for a full set of cosmetic veneers, right? No, you're usually drawn in by some kind of low-risk offer, the bait. In this case, it's a free teeth cleaning. It's an easy yes. It gets you in the door and lets the dentist provide some value up front. And here's how that ladder looks, step by step. You start with that free cleaning. Then, while you're in the chair, the dentist might say, hey, I noticed your teeth are a little yellow. We could do some teeth whitening. That's the next step up. After that, maybe it's a retainer. Each step provides more value, and yeah, it costs a bit more, leading all the way up to the high-ticket cosmetic surgery. The key here is that customers climb this ladder naturally. So there you have it. That's the definition. A value ladder is basically a strategic map of everything you offer. It lets you serve clients at whatever level they're ready for, while gently guiding your absolute dream clients towards your most impactful and, let's be honest, most profitable services. Okay, that's the strategy, the big picture. But how do we actually build this thing online? How do you take this theoretical value ladder and turn it into a real-life, money-making machine? Well, you do that by building a sales funnel. This is the engine that actually drives the whole thing. And it's actually pretty simple when you think about it. A sales funnel is just the series of web pages that automates that journey up your value ladder. Each page is designed to make one specific offer from your ladder, starting with the bait and then systematically giving the customer chances to get more and more value from you. And this is the night and day difference. The old way is a flat website that's basically a digital brochure. It just sits there,
hoping someone buys something. The new way, the funnel, is an engineered process. It's designed from the ground up to maximize the value of every single person who enters, which then allows you to spend more on traffic and, you guessed it, dominate your market.
So that brings us to the final piece of this whole puzzle. We've got our strategy, we've got our engine, but where do we get the fuel? Where do we actually find the people to put into the top of our funnel? And the answer is fascinating. You don't create traffic, you find where it already exists.
Brunson calls these places congregations. See, your dream customers, they're already gathered online. They're in forums, they're in groups, they're on newsletters, all talking about their passions and their problems. Your job isn't to build a whole new audience from scratch. It's to simply put your message in front of these groups that are already built. So what does that look like in the real world? Well, if you sell a product for wrestlers, you go to the mat.com. If you're targeting entrepreneurs, you find them in specific Facebook groups or listening to certain podcasts. The heavy lifting of gathering all these people, it's already been done for you. You just have to show up with the right bait. So there's the entire system laid out. You identify your dream client, you map out their journey on a value ladder, you build a funnel to automate that journey, and then you find them in their existing online congregations. Which brings us to the final question, and this one's for you. Looking at your own business, or maybe just an idea you have, what is the very first step you are going to take? Because answering that, that's where the real magic begins.